Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 10th Annual Lenape Regional High School District Armed Service Awards Ceremony. Let's have a round of applause for the Lenape High School Concert Choir under the direction of Brendan Moore for the wonderful prelude. I am Midshipman First Class Jonathan Denler from the United States Naval Academy and also from Medford, New Jersey, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for the evening. Throughout the ceremony, you will be given various cues to stand and be seated. As a reminder, civilian guests should place their right hand over their heart during the national anthem. We request that cellular phones be silenced for the duration of the ceremony. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the colors conducted by our cadets from Lenape, Cherokee, and Seneca High School's Junior ROTC program, the singing of our national anthem by Abby Fuss and Brianna Marr from Lenape High School, and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, colors. Right, sir. March. Forward. March. Mark time. March. Left turn. March. Color guard. Halt.
And now,
Ready. Pose. Ready, two, right turn, march. Forward, march.
thank you, Color Guard. That was a fantastic job. And now, if you'll please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce the Lenape Regional High School District Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Matt Webb, to kick off this evening's ceremony.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to also welcome you to the Lenape Regional High School District's 10th Annual Armed Services Awards Ceremony. This is one of the more unique awards ceremonies that we host, in that in addition to honoring students, we'll be recognizing veterans who are alumni, staff, or relatives of current students. Before I make my brief remarks to all the honorees, please join me in a moment of silence to honor Nicholas Demona III, a 2017 Shawnee graduate who tragically lost his life on March 30th, 2019, while proudly serving our country in the United States Army. Thank you. There are a number of people in attendance tonight that I would like to recognize, and I'll start by thanking Shawnee's alumnus, Jonathan Dendler, for being our MC this evening, and a shining example of a district graduate who is prepared to succeed. Also, please welcome members of the Lenape Regional High School District Board of Education, Mark Jones from Mount Laurel, Paula Lee from Mount Laurel, Steve Lee from Medford Lakes, Bonnie Olt from Evesham, Vice President Barry Fitzgerald, and our President of the Board of Education, Cookie Eslow. Please also welcome our Superintendent, Dr. Carol Birnbaum, and our school administration here to help us celebrate tonight from Lenape High School, Principal Tony Catani, and Assistant Principal Joe DeJulius. From Shawnee High School, Assistant Principal Ryan DiNatale. From Cherokee High School, Principal Donna Charlesworth, and Assistant Principal Steve Lee. And from Seneca High School, Assistant Principal Trish LaBeouf, and Assistant Principal Dr. Sean Castle. In addition, this event takes a tremendous amount of coordination, and I'd like to recognize our superstar administrative assistant, Pam Miraglia, for the outstanding job she has done organizing this event, as well as the members of the Armed Services Awards Committee, whose names are listed in the program. I also thank Bob Smythe, who will be providing our students with words of wisdom and guidance through his keynote address. To the honorees, it is truly a pleasure to have the opportunity to celebrate your accomplishments. Your service and sacrifice, and that of your families, are the main reasons for us to take time tonight to reward and recognize you. In addition to showing our respect for men and women who make a difference, another goal this evening is to create a support system for our seniors who will soon be entering the armed services, military academies, or are entering a college ROTC program. Now, we understand that those who have served have not done so for accolades, awards, or honors. As a matter of fact, some may be slightly uncomfortable with any recognition. I'd like to share a quote with you to help express our gratitude for your participation this evening. It's an old one, but it's still relevant. The willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, shall be directly proportional to how they perceive the veterans of earlier wars were treated and appreciated by their nation. President George Washington. Having veterans from our community is really important to our ceremony this evening because you have paved the path for the future veterans graduating from the Lenape Regional High School District this year. It is our privilege to have you join us this evening in this opportunity to model service. Now, tonight, our veterans represent various United States military actions, including veterans from the Vietnam War. We're also honored to have among us 2 World War II veterans, Mr. Frank Vitale and Mr. Frank DeJesu. Gentlemen, please stand and be recognized. Now, all of our veterans can provide valuable insight for our students and their parents on what they might expect in the upcoming year. So students, please mingle with our veterans after the ceremony while enjoying some refreshments in the cafeteria. Of course, thank them for their service, but seize this golden opportunity to ask them any questions. You won't regret it. Students, you will soon be part of something much bigger than you have ever been part of before. Not only will you be representing yourselves when you go out in public, but also the United States of America. There will be a newfound responsibility of understanding that individual decisions now impact your unit, institution, and our country. You'll be asked to do things you were never asked to do before, and you will learn that you will be able to accomplish much more than you thought you could ever accomplish. As we approach the end of the school year, our weeks will be filled with many awards, many ceremonies, performances, and activities, all leading up to the graduation ceremonies for the class of 2019. For me, and I'm sure for many of you, tonight's ceremony will be among the most memorable. We are honored our students are able to share this evening with each one of our servicemen and women, whether on active duty, in the reserves, or home. I hope this evening shows our communities that we live by our commitment to honor our brave men and women. And on behalf of the members of the Lenape Regional High School District and Board of Education, thank you for your service and thank you for protecting our freedom.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. At this time, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker for the evening. Mr. Smith has over 30 years of management experience in industry, government, and military veterans service. He is currently president of the Premium Care Group, providing home health care for veterans, seniors, and their families as a former executive, military officer, elected official, and consultant. He is a former field representative for Military Veterans Affairs for Congressman Tom MacArthur. U.S. House of Representatives, New Jersey, 3rd District in Burlington and Ocean counties. He is a former captain, United States Army. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Clemson University and a postgraduate management programs. Also, he is a graduate of Lenape High School. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker for the evening, Mr. Robert E. Smith.
Good evening. Well, Mr. Webb stole all my comments, so I don't have anything to say. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I asked for about an hour to speak, and I only have 15 minutes, so we'll do this good. I have to tell you, I better wear glasses. This is hard to see. I'm not doing a speech as such, but I've sort of put together some comments to address everyone here and the students especially. I'm honored to be here for two reasons. I'm an alumni of this school. I could tell you stories about being around here when I was in high school, but I won't. And I'm also a veteran, as you heard. I was a captain in Vietnam, got to spend a year there. If we have any Vietnam vets here, I'd like to talk to you later, but I especially want to talk to all the other veterans, too, in the World War II. My dad served during World War II also, and I appreciate that. I've probably been to all 10 of these in different roles and actually have one of these. And I got it, I think, about 5 years ago. So I really appreciate that. You've probably seen me around here before in different roles. Most recently, I was involved with the congressional office. I'm proud to say that I was the head of the team that did the congressional nominations for this, and two of the students I hope are here. Are you out there? Who we nominated, and they received appointments, and I saw their names. We did that we did that in earlier this year because we weren't sure about the election. So we did do that. I was actively involved with that with some people. So I'm very proud of people that try to go to academies, but also I'm an ROTC officer. And there are people here at school tonight that we're going to see that are going through ROTC, and I think that's great because one of the things that I always brought up when we were going through the academy nominations was, what's your backup plan? And what I meant by that was, if you want to be an officer in the military and you want to go to the Naval Academy or West Point or any of the others, the other way to do it is go to college and get an ROTC scholarship and graduate that way. The other way to do it is enlist, and you can enlist and become a private, or you can enlist and then try to go to officer candidate school. So I see that in all the students, and I really honor that. Briefly about the military. It's a life-changing experience. You've heard that before, but let me share it from my heart. Here I am for 4 years in Lenape High School, and I graduate. Now, I knew people like we're going to honor today who went right into the service. So let's talk about them first. You're in high school for 4 years. It's fun, it's hard, it's difficult, you're in sports or whatever, and you leave, and then you go right into basic training and boot camp. You might get sent off to a war zone. Very life-changing situation. Now let me tell you what I did. I graduated from Lenape, like in the top 5% of the class, so thank you, teachers. Great school, and I went to Clemson. Now, one of the things about Clemson, I think it's the best football school in the entire United States, and I don't see anybody from Lenape going to Clemson. So I was kind of wondering, well, actually there might be others, but on the list that I looked at, because I saw the schools they were going to. But anyway, so I go 4 years to college. Now, the students here that are not enlisting and going in right away, that are going to either academy or they're going in ROTC to college, and I see a few of those on the list, they'll go 4 years before they start active duty. So that's like me. So I graduate in May after 4 years of college. Boot camp when you're in ROTC is the year before, so I went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where Rangers are in the airborne school. So that's between your junior and senior year. So when you graduate, you get the bars put on you, or one bar, and you're a second lieutenant. So in May, I'm graduating. 30 days later, I'm going into an officer basic training course for about 3 months. And then in January, I'm on a plane flying to Vietnam, landing in Vietnam. Now I'm 22 years old. You get on the ground after that and say to yourself, what am I doing here? What's happening to my life? I mean, this is a total, just think about that. When you get out of high school, if the kids are getting out of high school are going to have a dramatic change very soon, the ones going to college. I then spent a year in Vietnam. I'm going to talk to you in a minute about what you learn from that experience and what kind of qualities you get real fast, and then that it carries on as veterans also. It's a dangerous situation you get into if you're in a war zone. But I say this to people many times, and they don't quite understand what I mean. It was the most rewarding situation I have ever been in my life. Because I don't carry a weapon around. I don't have a concealed weapon, but I knew how to fire weapons. I carried a .45. I lost people in my unit. We had people injured in the unit. And that had never happened. I've never been involved in a situation like that before. So it is a very life-changing thing, but I never forget it, and it's the most rewarding thing I have ever done. I'm looking at the list of the students here, and I think I know a number of students here. I know like Tyler, who's going to the Coast Guard Academy. I know Adita Desmond, who's going to the Naval Academy. And I have to say, because I wasn't able to talk with all of you afterwards because of the change in the congressional office, we're really proud of you. We're glad we got you in. And we also did get people appointments in other parts of Burlington County and Ocean County. And I like the fact that I see people going on active duty, ROTC, And I wanted to add, too, that I see on this list Army National Guard. I think that's a great move. And I also see Air National Guard. So, and we've got a lot of people in all the different, I was Army, but that's okay. I see Air Force, Navy, Marines, excellent. Very proud of you. Thank you very much for doing that. Thank you for making a decision to serve. Now, I'm going to change now because we have veterans in the audience, and the people going on active duty will be veterans when they finish their term, whether it's 20 years or not. And I just got this yesterday. And I think it was hanging in a VFW post. And I'm going to read this to you because this is what a veteran is. I have done things that haunt me at night so you can sleep in peace. I have been away from my family a long time so that yours can be safe. I have sacrificed a lot of my life so that you may live free. I have done these things because I have sworn an oath to my country, and I will live by this oath until the day I die, because I am and always will be a United States veteran. I do a lot of talks at Veterans Day and soon Memorial Day. About a year ago, I sat down and I thought of the qualities that veterans have that makes them veterans, people that served, and veterans. So I want to share these with you. A veteran and those serving always focus on the mission, the goals, the objectives, and the results. They have dedication, patriotism, strength and confidence, leadership. And what I mean by leadership is that leadership can be from a private to a general, and here's what I mean by that. It's empowered leadership. If you're in a war zone and you have a squad or a platoon or a company, and the company commander and some of the NCOs are killed, or if your squad leader, who's usually an E5 sergeant in the Army, is killed, and you only have a corporal or a private first class, I guarantee you one of them is going to stand up and take charge and lead the team. So I look at leadership maybe differently than from just a rank structure. Integrity, teamwork, loyalty. You always hear that in the military. We've got your back. We're there for each other. That is the way it is. Dependable. And another thing both service people and veterans do is they show up for work on time, and they're hard workers. Excellent training and education. They're respectful. They have initiative. They're adaptable, and they're problem solvers. But best of all, what happens even when you're out of active duty, or you're in active duty, even like at the Joint Base, there's community things that go on behalf of the community and their neighbors, and veterans continue to do that through organizations like the American Legion of VFW. So what I say is these qualities are really the best of the best, and we should all be an example of these kind of qualities. Now, I'm going to tell what I call the Wawa story. Actually, it's changed a little bit, but a few years ago, I was wearing a hat that I wear. It's in the car now. I don't usually wear it inside. And it says Vietnam Veteran, has medals on it and things like that. And I went into a Wawa, and everybody stopped and looked at me. And I was getting coffee, and I don't think I've ever paid for a cup of coffee again in a Wawa for years. It happens all the time, and I keep the hat in the car and purposely put it on when I go in. So, the stigma of the Vietnam veteran issue, I have none of that because I've never heard that in the last 10 years. Little kids come up to me, parents. Sometimes it turns into a town hall at a Wawa, or I'm just getting coffee and they all want to know about what was it like? Where were you there? I had a little kid come up to me and look at me and goes, were you really in that war? And it's just really amazing. Memorial Day is coming up. I'm going to be doing Memorial Day speeches, and it's a sad time, but it's a time of remembrance. And I'm not going to go through, I'm going to do this very briefly. I just want to have you understand Memorial Day is for those who died. Veterans Day is for those who all are living veterans. The total number of people that we have lost in wars is almost 1.5 million. 1.5 million. The Civil War is the most, 750,000, a war where we fought ourselves. And the only other war I'm going to talk about is the one I was in, because it's what I think about. 58,000 were lost in Vietnam. And I had people in my unit that I lost. So remember veterans on Memorial Day. You will see flags all over cemeteries and things like that. Now, in closing, you see the poppy that I'm wearing? A lot of you see veterans this month sitting outside of stores and things, and they give you a poppy, and then they ask for a donation, and I'm not sure everybody knows what this is about. So I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to read a poem because the poppies are about Flanders Field in World War I in 1915, where the soldiers who had died in these fields, Flanders Fields, when their graves were very shallow and everything, this is what grew on that cemetery or those fields. Now, this poem I'm going to read, this is in the context of those who died. This is them talking to us through this poem. So if you've never heard it, this is pretty touching. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, we felt dawn, we saw sunset glow. We were loved, and we loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, if ye break with us who die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Field. It has been an honor to be here with you. Thank you very much. I appreciate this. And thank you for all your service.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. At this time, we would like to take a moment to recognize all active duty, National Guard or reservist, Armed Forces retirees, and veterans in attendance this evening. We will be playing the Armed Services songs. We ask that you remain standing while the music of your respective branch is played. Thank you. Will all honorees, students, alumni, and employees please line up on the left side of the auditorium at the bottom of the steps to prepare for the presentation of the coins. Mr. Miraglia will assist in the lineup. Board of Education members Dr. Brinbaum, Mr. Webb, and principals, please come up to the stage for the presentation. While we are getting situated, please enjoy this short student-created JROTC promotional video.
I wanted to find myself.
I wanted new experiences.
I wanted to challenge myself.
I wanted to become disciplined.
I wanted to leave behind a legacy.
I wanted to become more motivated.
I wanted to become self-confident.
I wanted to be part of a team. I wanted to be part of something greater than myself.
NJROTC is more than just a class. It's a path to honor, courage, and commitment.
I joined.
I joined.
I joined.
We became leaders.
First, we will honor the Lenape Regional High School District students who have committed to branches of the armed services after graduation. Their names will be read in alphabetical order, by birth order, and by school. Up first, Lenape High School. Please excuse me if I mispronounce your name. Feel free to correct me when you come by the podium. From Lenape High School, Daniel DeSantis, United States Army. Harry Everham, United States Army. Tyler Hune, U.S. Coast Guard Academy. Thomas Palovkak, U.S. Navy. Brandon Rice, United States Navy. Alex Steinberg, Virginia Tech, Corps of Cadets, Naval ROTC. Kayla Trouts, United States Army. Xavier Walter, United States Navy. From Shawnee High School, Michael Blackwell, Army ROTC, Seton Hall University. Aditya Deshmukha, U.S. Naval Academy. Sean Riley, United States Coast Guard. Mark Voorhees, Army ROTC, Worcester Polytechnic Institute. From Cherokee High School, Brian Heisler, United States Navy. Gwendolyn Klein Daly, United States Navy. Tyler Lanza, United States Navy. Gary Nofer, United States Marine Corps. Shane Silver, United States Air Force. Maximus Voiro, United States Navy. Jacob Withman, United States Marine Corps. Is it Witham? From Seneca High School, Dennis Bartholomew, United States Air Force. William Hess, United States Marine Corps. Connor Mao, Army National Guard. Jackson Perozzi, United States Navy. Vincent Riccardi, United States Army. Jonah Worrell, Air National Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, let us have one more round of applause for our graduating seniors and future servicemen and women. Now we are going to recognize district alumni, current and past employees, and parents and grandparents of students for their service. Jason Bickler, Master Sergeant, United States Air Force. George Blackwell, Senior Master Sergeant, United States Air Force. Susan Burns, Master Sergeant, United States Air Force. Frank DeGesu, World War II veteran, aviation machinist mate instruments, second class, United States Navy. If you would like to go this way, there's a seat right over there on the side. Ladies and gentlemen, if you couldn't tell by the hat, it says World War II and Korea. It's not just World War II. Gary DeGesu, Lieutenant Colonel, United States Army. Frank Fatale, World War II veteran, United States Navy. Michael Graham, Captain, United States Navy. Raymond Kennedy, Sergeant First Class, United States Army. Pat McDonald, Colonel, United States Army. Sir. Jason Rice, Technical Sergeant, United States Air Force. Jim Stewart, Captain, United States Army. Jeff Voorhees, Lieutenant Colonel, United States Air Force. Kimberly Washington, Sergeant, United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, let us again have one more round of applause for all of our servicemen and women. Now, when I was invited and asked to MC for tonight, I was also asked to talk about myself a little bit. I can tell you some basic information. I'm a graduate of Shawnee High School, and in 10 days I will graduate from the United States Naval Academy and commission into the United States Marine Corps. Thank you, but in terms of talking about myself, sadly, that's not my forte. And with a podium like this and an event such as this, I think that talking about the family that many of the people in this auditorium tonight are about to join and go into would be far more appropriate. You really are about to join a family, and I'm speaking to those in the audience who were just honored and are about to enter the military, the armed forces. Now, I know I have no operational experience in the fleet myself. I'm only about to become a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps, but I have been a midshipman at the Naval Academy for the past 4 years, and I've been very fortunate in my time to go all over. The military has already sent me to the UK, to Belgium, Lithuania, Japan, even Iwo Jima, and what I can say honestly is that all of those experiences are absolutely nothing compared to the friendships that I have made so far in my time in the U.S. military. What you are about to do is incredible, and you really are about to become part of a family. And the family that you're about to become a part of, there's really a place for everyone. There's a place for anyone, and what this family values the most are hard work and humility. And because of that, really, just about any of you can go ahead and be very successful. I'm very sure of it. There's something else I'd like to share going forward about that family. That a mentor of mine not too long ago pointed out, and I really like the way that he said it and how he put it into his own words. And that it is a great family. There's a place for anyone in it. There's no other place I'd rather be, honestly. But membership is not free. Now, I know earlier we had a wonderful keynote speaker talk a little bit about being thanked for his service, and yeah, it's far more appropriate that he be thanked for his service than me, because he's obviously done far much more. But that doesn't change the fact that those of you who are about to enter the military, regardless of what you have done, the American people don't really know that yet. They all look at you and they see your uniform, and it means the same to them. And when someone thanks you for your service or buys you a coffee at Wawa, what it is it's a reminder to us. It's a reminder that those things aren't free because we owe the American people something. We have a job to do. And I would ask that as you go out and you start your careers and you start this wonderful adventure that you're all about to go on, that you remember that every time someone on the other side thanks you for your service and smiles, that it's because you do have a job to do and that we owe them something. And I'm very proud of you and excited for all of you who are about to go do that, and thank you. So I would like to be one of the first to say welcome to the family. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending this year's Armed Service Ceremony. This concludes the program for the evening.
First, obviously, thank you for your service. It's amazing that you're sitting here with me and the history that you have.
I'm very proud to serve for my country.
And
I
your
love
country,
this country.
and all the citizens thank you for it. So the ceremony this evening, what did you think about the ceremony this evening? You think it was good?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Is-
I appreciate this. Wait till I get back to where all my friends are in my age group.
And you can show them the challenge coin.
Yeah.
So obviously we do have a number of young people that are going into the military that have decided whether an ROTC program or active duty. Any advice? What advice would you give them from a World War II Korean vet who's been around, who has seen so much? What kind of advice would you give them?
Truthfully, I think that's the best place to go right now, the services. The education is fantastic. I mean, I got educated just by going to the instrument school. And from there, I went to a pharmaceutical company, and on my GI Bill, I went to college, New York College of Engineering.
Wow. And on the government's dime for that.
Yes, and when I was called in the Korean War, I didn't go to college for 2 years. I went back, and I finished. And I had quite a job with a company called Hoffman La Roche Pharmaceuticals. And I was there for 30 years.
So the military set you up pretty good for that position.
They gave me an education that I lived on, and I still get bonuses from the company. And,
Wow. Still, that's fantastic. Get bonuses.
and they take care of all my sicknesses. All of
Well, it's well deserved for what you sacrificed to contribute to this country. It's the least this country can do.
I don't call it a sacrifice. I'm sorry.
I understand. But it did help you.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Service, especially today, the services of today, they're fantastic. You can learn a lot about life and
Sure, real life.
jobs. Sure.
Well, Mr. DiGesu, I thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us and come this evening. We were thrilled to have you here.
My pleasure.
And again, thank you for your service. And obviously, I know you have a very long lineage of military service in your family. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
A ceremony like this, I mean, you've been around and you've been to a number of, I'm sure, different events. What did you think about the ceremony this evening?
I really enjoy it. I really do it. I think it's nice that they honor these kids that are going into service.
Thank you for coming this evening and for your service again, sir.
Thank you for inviting me.